I've gotten involved in a prison ministry, and given that we just talked recently about anger, and more specifically rage, and the horrible events that can follow someone who becomes wrapped in an uncontrollable rage, I think it's appropriate to carry this conversation a bit further. I don't know for sure uh, if the people that I talk to are 100% remorseful and wish that they could turn the clock back. I assume so. But really, that's besides the point. What I can talk about confidently is that in both of these cases, there were outside influences that certainly do not for a second excuse the actions that these men took, but help us to explain what might be behind these decisions. And the reason that's important is that all of us are subject to influence, sometimes negative influence. I'm not suggesting that we're all going to go out and kill somebody, but we are likely, or more likely, I suppose, to make bad choices based on peer pressure or other forms of influence that cause us to set aside our better judgment and act in a rash and perhaps reckless way. The extreme examples are the examples that I experienced over that couple of days of visitation. Here we have someone, in one case a juvenile, who was so profoundly uh, determined to find affection and affirmation that he joined a gang, and the gang required him to kill somebody, and so he did. In the other example, it was a young adult who, in concert with other relatives, two others, defending turf apparently that was established for some kind of a illegal operation, engaged in a drive-by and shot someone who was innocent and killed them. Um, the consequences of those actions are obvious. Dead, the dead leave behind loved ones who will mourn them forever, and those who are found guilty of those crimes face the punishment that society dishes out, and appropriately so. Most of us are going to fall far short, I certainly hope at least, of that kind of overreaction to undue influence. But nonetheless, many of us, perhaps all, are subject to peer influence for one thing. Also, the toxic events of substances, including drugs and alcohol, which can impair our judgment. Maybe these things even happen in combination. Our inability to easily ascertain whether a choice or a threat or a dare is sincere or should be engaged. Uh, Substances and alcohol diminish our ability to make sound judgments. Also, perhaps our need for affirmation and our reluctance to not be part of the gang, especially in youth, uh, makes us more likely to make bad choices. I mention it here to perhaps put us on our guard better, to be in a better position to question the motive behind someone daring us to do something or otherwise encouraging us to make a choice that, if we really think it through, we know is the wrong choice to make. Bad for us, perhaps, bad for others, unfair, unethical, exploitative, in whatever way, just a bad idea. Maybe it's sometimes just a financial mistake that we're about to make. In any event, prudent thinking is absolutely essential to our safety, and it can be essential to the safety of those around us. And it's important to, when we're having that inner dialogue, to think about all of those around us, including the people who care for us, our family members, our friends who we stand to disappoint if we make the wrong decisions. Know, please, that there are those in this world who will ask us to do things for their reasons, not for our own good. We are more vulnerable, I think, when we are down, when we're feeling some pain, some neglect, when we're perhaps unloved, at least feel that way. That's probably when we're most likely to fall victim to this sort of thing. But it's still on us to make the right call And we make that right call by being discerning when we're asked to do something, to decide, is the risk worth taking? And importantly, why would we be asked to take it at all? Sometimes people will propose that we do something that's a bit risky, and they have a very noble motive for doing so. I'm talking here about the need again to discern what is being asked of us and why, and then to make the right call based in that moment about what is best for us and those that we care about most. Thank you.